Hi handsome and welcome to my 21st video. As most of you probably already know, yesterday was the Heidel Ball. So today, I thought that we can have a bit of that easy type of content we like to do on this channel and give you my opinions about it. In case you want to see my live reaction to the Heidel Ball and longer discussions about it, you can watch the VOD on my Twitch channel. This is still going to be a little bit less scripted though. I only have bullet points of what I want to touch on and speak about, since we don't really know what many of these things are actually going to look like once they come to the game. So going more in depth on what these might be or what they would do to the game feels like it's not the greatest idea, so I want to wait and speak on them if and when they come. Without further ado, let's start with the thing talked about the most at the ball, which was the Land of the Morning Light Part 2. Okay, with this we can start with the biggest part of the entire talk, and that is the 5-man content, which they said that there will be like a boss content, so boss blitz just for parties, which I think is really good, but it also depends on how they are going to implement it. I hope it's going to be more like Attraction than it's going to be like boss scrolls, for example. So I don't want it to be just a spank bang. I don't want you to just go and beat the boss and the boss just have mechanics like AoE, damage, etc. I want them to implement actual mechanics for BDO, which I think would be absolutely incredible and one of the best things ever added to BDO. So we will see how that goes. One more thing that I would like to say about the 5-man content is that they said that there will be only 2 difficulty modes, the normal one and the difficult one. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. They said that they want it to be easier than Attraction, which I assume means normal is going to be easier than normal Attraction and difficult is going to be easier than LV Attraction. I would like them to add in the future another like third more difficult mode for the dedicated players. Maybe once we have higher gear score, they could implement something like calamity mode, right? Or something like LVA boss blitz or something in that sense above difficult. So I would like to see that. Outside of the 5-man boss blitz, however, I don't think there are that many things to really talk about that would blow you away. I think it's going to be very similar to Land of the Morning Light Part 1. So if you like that, you will like this most likely as well, and vice versa, especially with the quest design, which is my biggest gripe with this new expansion or content update, whatever you want to call it. I felt that the story was nice, but the quest design was absolutely terrible. So I hope they improve that. I don't know why every single Land of the Morning Light Part 1 quest was the exact same copy-pasted structure, and I hope that they learn from this and they improve it in Part 2. Otherwise, it's not going to go over well with most people, I don't think. Most people will still probably just skip through it, but I think that it's good to have more story content for the people who like stories in MMOs. I don't think this idea of just putting all your eggs into one basket and just talking about combat with BDO is the way to go. I think that over time, the BDO combat will get stale and staler, and new games will come into the genre that will take over. So I want BDO to kind of spread out, and I've said this on stream, maybe poach players from other MMOs. So just look at other MMOs, look what they do well, and just try to implement that into BDO. And I think that good story content is one of those things that could take some players from other MMOs into BDO. There is also one more new thing with Land of the Morning Light. Well, actually 2. One of them is just for me, and they said that there will be Tamer exclusive content. I love you, PA. Thank you for making the best class even besterer. Well, other than that, we will have a new manor, and they said that the nodes in the new zone are going to work a little bit different. From what they've said, to me, it really screamed Ishgard Restoration from Final Fantasy XIV. So we'll see how that goes. I wonder if we are still going to need contribution points with this new system, but we'll have to see. One thing that got kind of announced with the expansion, and I believe it's going to arrive with the expansion, so we are going to wait a long time before we get it, is the new weapon tier, which I have to say, it's probably the best implementation of a new weapon type that we could have gotten. I don't think that a better implementation of a new weapon tier into BDO could have been achieved, because not only do you keep the old weapons relevant, because you still need them to upgrade into the new tier. It's not like Dehkia accessories where, okay, Dehkia necklace comes out and you no longer need any other necklace that comes before it, and same for the rings and same for the belt. and not kind of the same for the earrings. Maybe you need one, right? You need one earring for the 5-set bonus, but that's about it, right? But like the Borekas are by far the best, at least if we are talking about PvE. Not talking about PvP right now. In that sense, the new weapons are much better done because you still keep the old systems relevant. You don't just replace them. But also the way it is done is, I think, again, like the systems along with it, the new, I don't, if you want to call them sockets or gemstones, or if you just want to call them like a new artifact system with the changing, I mean, choosing your stats and mixing and matching and getting different bonuses. I think that's really cool. I think that's one of the best ways they could have done the new weapon. I also like the way it looks, although I wish they allow us to change colors on it. I wish they allow us to change the colors of the effect, so it's not just yellow or gold or whatever that color is. Right, I want it to be, at least give us the BLACKSTAR and Godrite as well, right? So the red and the purple, since we already have that, you don't have to do much with that. I think that would be neat. But otherwise, I really dig the new weapons. I think I don't have anything wrong to say about it. Another thing that got announced is that everyone is getting a pen BLACKSTAR weapon in preparation for the new weapon tier, which I'm kind of conflicted about. On one hand, for newer players, this is absolutely massive. I think that for catch-up mechanic, this is about as much as you can do, but I think that we are invalidating older content too quickly, and we are running the risk of homogenizing the new player experience. Obviously, everyone can do their own things, what they want to do, but I think we are running the risk of just telling new players, okay, start on season, get out of season, go get your pen BLACKSTAR, grind orcs for 200 hours, then go like Giffin under or something, and then go do your Dehkia spots. So I hope I'm wrong with this. I hope that there will be a reason to do the older content as well. And I will kind of touch on this a little bit later as well. Next, I will just quickly touch on the new class. It looks pretty good. I am happy that it's a male. I think that after 5 females, it was about time. Honestly, Scholar should have been a male as well. We know that Gunslinger is going to be female. I hope we don't have another 5 females after Dosa, which is the new class. As far as the new class goes, I think it looks cool. It's kind of the same with Land of the Morning Light. I didn't really touch on this, but there are 2 things you can definitely count on when it comes to BDO. It's looking good and the class looking fantastic, right? It's like telling me that water is wet and grass is green. It's the same thing with BDO looking good. I don't think they have ever blundered when it comes to making a new class. So I am sure that it's going to be fun. And I'm happy that it's a male because we definitely needed that. Okay, next thing is the hardcore server that got announced, which is a seasonal server that you have to make a new character for, and it's going to have basically equalized gear with no consumables, so no elixirs, no food, no perfumes, and it's going to be always PvP on. So it's going to be fully open world PvP server, where if you die, instead of you losing your character like you would in like World of Warcraft hardcore, here you get sent to jail and you have to either wait a couple of days before you are let out, or you can fight other prisoners to have your sentence shortened by the time that they have been already waiting. I think that's how it's going to work, which I think is really good. I think this has the potential to revive open world PvP in BDO. The open world PvP community, I think, is a vocal minority, honestly, especially nowadays, but maybe some people will come back just for this server, which I think is good. I know that I wasn't making YouTube when the entire guild deck change and the open world fiasco happened, but if you want my honest opinion about open world PvP, I think that it has to be consensual. I think if you look at other games as well, you will see that if they are open world PvP at all times, they are only fun at the start, because at the start things are the most equal. If you start a new World of Warcraft expansion, or like if when we had Warcraft Classic, at the start, if you were in Stranglethorn Vale and you were like a level 35 human or a night elf and you saw a level 32 orc, you wanted to go and kill him, right? And then the orc called like his friends, and then you called his friends, and then they called the guildies, and you called the guildies, and you had a big war, right? And it was fun. It was really fun. But then, once time progressed and you were in Stranglethorn Vale, what happened? You got ganked by a level 60 rogue. And you died instantly. And then you called your level 60 rogue as well. And then they called their level 60 friends. And maybe they had fun. But did you have fun as the level 35 human mage? Probably not. right? Probably not. So I think this is the biggest problem with open world PvP games in general, not just BDO. Even in BDO, it's kind of the same. You are a Tuvala Timmy, fresh out of season. You are like, okay, I'm gonna go to, I don't know, Arsha Manshaums. What's gonna happen? You're gonna get attacked by a guy who's farming there with like 700 gear score. Will you ever have a chance to beat him? No, absolutely not. But at least that it's consensual, right? You can at least leave the Arsha server. I am sorry if I ruffle some feathers in the open world community by saying this, but I think that this is 100% the case. Open world PvP is always bad if it is not consensual for the longevity of the game and the health of the game. So having something that is consensual, like the hardcore server, I think that is a good way, because the open world PvP community will be fighting each other, they won't be going into other people, and that way they will all have fun, right? If an open world PvPer kills a grinder, the grinder doesn't want to PvP, so they will not be having fun. If the grinder is has like Barney Realm and has several things and ways to karma bomb the other person, then the open world PvPer won't be having any fun. So this way, the grinders can have fun on their grinding spots, and the hardcore PvPers, open world PvPers, can have fun on the hardcore server. I think this is the best of both worlds, and I hope that there is shared progression, so the silver and stuff you make on the hardcore server goes into your main account, which I think it will. I hope it will. But that is my thoughts, not just about hardcore server, but open world PvP as well. So you get the 2-for-1 here. We have a couple more things to talk about. Some of them are just going to be mentioned briefly, but one of the few things that still remains is the new Dehkia Lantern Tier 2, which is going to require 750 gear score, which is honestly insane. And we are also getting new places for the Dehkia Lantern. We are getting Kadri Ruins. By the way, I am your Kadri bro. I was there before you. I made my video before you. I need to flex. We are getting Dehkia Crescent Shrine, and then we are getting Gifin Rasia Temple and Mirumok Ruins. I assume, and I want to believe, that the Gifin Rasia Temple is upper. I hope that is Gifin upper, because then it's a Dehkia 5-man spot, which I think is also severely needed. We need more group spots. I am sure that the Mirumok Ruins is going to be a 2-man spot as well, so that is good as well. I think that is really good. If it's Gifin under, why? Gifin under already feels like a Dehkia spot. Gifin under does not need Dehkia. Gifin upper needs Dehkia. Gifin upper would be insanely good for Dehkia, so I hope it's Gifin upper. That's all I'm gonna say with that. We are also getting a new accessories in the Dehkia Tier 2 zones. By the way, these are, I assume that the Tier 2 zones are going to be for every Dehkia spot, not just for these ones. I think that's the case, right? But yeah, we are getting new accessories, the Asadal accessories, which are going to work similarly to the Tayback belt. And I think we have the accessories for every single slot in the game. And from what it looks like, it's going to be, I guess, more for PvP, but we'll have to see what all of the bonuses and actives are going to look like. But it looks like it's going to be more for PvP. But I think this is good. I think having more options in your video game is always good. So I like the addition of the Asadal accessories. I just hope they actually are worth it. Final large thing that they have talked about in detail is the guild reorganization. They basically said that you will have guild traits now, so you can choose if you are a PvP, PvE, or a life skill guild, and based on the trait that you choose, you will get like different bonuses when people in your guild do those activities related to that side of BDO. I think that on the face of this is good, but I am a little bit worried that if these bonuses that you get from being higher on the rankings, which by the way there will be rankings, are too big, if the bonuses are too big, I am afraid that it will lead to guilds eating each other and people will be leaving their guild for the bonuses of a different guild. I hope this does not happen, but there is a chance of this happening. And next we have two things that they have touched on briefly, so I will also only touch on briefly. First is the Mountain of Dawnbreak, which is the new zone next next to Mountain of Eternal Winter, which I assume is the next zone after Land of the Morning Light Part 2. They said that this will be a 100 floor dungeon. If you have played FF14 once again, this sounds like Palace of the Dead to me. Which, by the way, Palace of the Dead is my favorite type of content in FF14. So if this is, if the Mountain of Dawnbreak is anything like Palace of the Dead, I will absolutely love this. I probably won't do anything else but this content. The other zone that they have teased after Mountain of Dawnbreak, I assume, because they have said even less about this, is Demonland, which is supposed to be one extremely insanely huge castle north of Valencia, and all they have said is that you will explore different parts of the castle and you will face new and different combat mechanics, whatever that means. So I will, like, that's basically all. If we will see this, it's going to take them like 2 to 3 years, I would assume, maybe longer. So I wouldn't keep my hopes up, but we'll see. And after that, who knows when, they said that they want to explore time travel and travel back in time in Valencia and like video world in general. I think they said 1000 years in the past. Sure. I mean, this is Warlords of Draenor. If this ever happens, like 5 years, 10 years from now, who knows when, I'll be interested to see it, but to be honest, I am not a big fan of time travel type content in MMOs. So this is probably not for me. But we'll see how this goes, right? This is going to be 5 years, 10 years in the future, so maybe this will never happen. This might be another blue battlefield. One thing I have actually forgot to mention until now is that they have finally announced the release date of the Jordine Saga for global release. I cannot wait to do this. I loved Baleno's storyline. In case you don't know, I made a video on that. It's called the BDO Story Mode. I also made it on Serendia and Calphion Old Stories. So I am very excited to see this. I am very excited to see this. I will definitely make videos on this, so stay tuned for that. They basically said nothing about it, and I cannot wait for this. I'm really excited for that. Otherwise, I think that's all they mentioned. They also mentioned a summer event. It's summer event. I hope we get the diving suit from last year again. I hope it will be obtainable again. They also announced War of the Roses and Arena of Solar. I don't really do PvP in the game, but if you like those types of activities, you will be happy about that, I believe. And they have announced a new outfit. Who cares? So yes, that's about it for the Heidel Ball. Now, they have not talked about some things that I would have loved them to talk about, and I don't know why. I think this is really concerning. First of all, they have not said anything about Gunslinger, the class that is supposed to come after Dosa. They have not even showed any concept art, nothing. So I don't know what's up with that, but sure, that's a new class. Maybe we'll see something soon. Next up, they haven't said anything about the Black Shrine Calamity 8, 9, and 10 that they talked about in Calphion Ball. So they haven't mentioned anything about that. We are still missing that content. Similarly, they have said absolutely nothing about Altar of Blood that they teased in Calphion Ball. We still haven't received anything about it. Not a single word. I don't know what's up with that either. So maybe it got removed to something else. We'll see. And most importantly, and I think this is really damning, they haven't said anything, absolutely nothing about the trade skill. I don't know if the new trading is supposed to be the new Land of the Morning Light Part 2 like node system. Is that the new trading? Because otherwise, trading is completely dead. They haven't mentioned the rework, nothing about it. I don't know why. I actually don't know why. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what that's all about. But yeah, those are the 4 main things that I think have been missing from the ball that they should have talked about, because they have already talked about it before, and it's making me kind of skeptical about some of the things mentioned on the ball, on this ball as well. I'm here from the editing room because I forgot to talk about one more thing that I wanted them to mention at the ball, and that is any kind of update for Medea, because I think Medea right now is the epitome of dead content. I don't think there is anyone who is actually going to Medea to grind there. Maybe Kratuga, if you want to classify Kratuga as Medea. Maybe Sosens, if you are like leveling season characters. But otherwise, Medea is completely dead, devoid of life. There is no reason to ever go there, grind there, do anything in there. So I would have liked them to say something that they are updating it. Whether that is Elvia, whether that is Dehkia, whether that is some kind of other type of rework, update, anything. They haven't said anything about it, which I think, considering that they were talking about the future of the game and blah blah blah, they probably should have talked about, since, like I said, media is completely dead. But that is all there is to say about the Heidel Ball. Overall, I think it was really good. Overall, I think what they have said and what they have shown was good enough. I am excited for the future of BDO. I think that BDO is going in the right direction, and if all of these things that have been mentioned in the ball will come to fruition and will be executed well, I think BDO is another one of those MMOs that will never die. I think that if all of these things work well and they are well received, I think BDO will join the big MMOs like WoW, FF14, RuneScape, etc. This might be a bit of a copium take because some of the problems that BDO has here in the West are not touched upon and they probably will never be, but otherwise I think that BDO really has the staying power to sustain itself for the time to come. Alright, handsome, that's going to be it from me as well. Do let me know in the comments below what you think about the Heidel Ball yourself, if you agree with me about some of the things that I have said, if you are excited for the new content coming to the game, and just what you liked the most, what you maybe disliked the most in the Heidel Ball in general. I hope to see you again soon. Remember to like and subscribe, and enjoy your grind.